For all users of the RainWatch product, you can now use the ECMWF Forecast. Why use an ensemble forecast instead of a traditional one? It is widely accepted that forecasts have to include uncertainty estimations to allow forecasters to estimate how predictable the future is. These ensemble-based forecasts are more valuable than single forecasts. This is due to the fact that they provide probabilities for different events to occur. In other words, ensembles provide users with more complete information about future weather scenarios. Using these ensemble forecasts with the uncertainty alongside it will ensure you to have more insight into how trustworthy a certain forecast actually is. In this video, we will create a personalized dashboard utilizing the ECMWF information with a timeline view, which will show an animation of the deterministic forecast, and a map with the ensemble forecast with a spatial aggregation on a shapefile. And lastly, we will add a chart showing the detailed forecast information from one of the aggregated areas.
We will start with making the map that shows deterministic forecast over the whole of South Africa. Under Tools, we go to Map Tool, we click Create Map. Then we select Create Layer, go to Your Connected Data, and here we can see all the available data sources. So then we go to SAWS, and then we select the ECMWF deterministic 10-day forecast. Then we can now select the variable we want to see, in this case total precipitation in millimeters. Under time, we want to see all the data from now until 10 days in the future. So we select 1 minute in the future until 10 days. And we apply. Then we will not use an aggregation. If we go to the Legend editor, we can then select this over here to make the screen bigger so that it's more easy to see what we're doing. Here you see different types of legend styles. For more information you consult the manual, but for this example we want to use the static class breaks. If we press the create new, we can now create our own legend. It is possible to change the class sizes by changing the max value of every class, and you can see that automatically the next class also updates. But it's easier to use the generate class breaks method. Here you can fill in the minimum value you want to include and then fill in the value here. You can also pick a palette here. This one looks nice, so we press generate class breaks. What is always useful is to make sure that the last class has a very high value, precipitation values are very large, that the class is still included and it's not displayed as an empty pixel. You can also change the label, so we'll say light precipitation and so on. This is the label that also will show your legend. If you want to change your color, you can of course select this and then press a different color. What is very important to remember is that if you configured your legend, you should first press save here. If you forget to press save, it can sometimes occur that the legend will not load correctly. Then we go to next and we supply a name for this specific layer. And we press finish. Here under information we give the same name. It's always useful in a description to supply your name and the date you created it. If there's any questions or issue with the map, then your colleagues will know where and how to find you. And then we press finish. Now we will go on to create the ensemble map. So these steps are the same: create map, create layer, your connected data, and again SAWS. And now we select the ensemble forecast data source. Under variable we select again total precipitation, time the same. Now under aggregation we want to select the quaternary catchments. We select this shapefile. We go to next. We select the same legend as before, rainfall 10 days, and under layer information, then under information, and we press finish. Now we have the two maps we need to fill our dashboard. You can make a new dashboard by going to the dashboard manager, which you will find under tools. If you click on the dashboard manager, you will find this wizard. This wizard shows on here on the left side the dashboard categories you created. You can make a new category by clicking on new category. And you can see here the dashboard without category. If you want to make a new dashboard, which will contain the maps we created, you can click new dashboard. And then you can enter your name. We first select edit mode and we want to add a datetime picker. So we go to dashboard settings and press enable datetime picker, save. Firstly, we go to add application. We will select the timeline view. This is a application which will allow you to easily animate all the data you want. So for example, grids, but also point or polygon data. If we go here, we select the deterministic forecast. We keep most of the settings the same. So we'll now further configure the timeline view. If you want to later change the layer, we can do that here, of course. The time option, you have two options, absolute and relative. And we will change the time interval to 6 hours. You can also change the animation interval, which will dictate how fast the animation will go. Then we will select the play animation and load. Show accumulated means that the precipitation is accumulated over time. So we want to select this one and then we press save. We go to map view. And now we will use the ensemble forecast. For this map, we want to use the dashboard datetime to ensure that the map shows the most recent model runs, and press save. So now you can see the map here shows the data from the coming hour. We want to change this, so we press the calendar icon and we can change the time settings. So we want to set the time from -1 hour until 10 days in the future. If we now press save and apply, and press save here as well, we can see that the data on the map has updated. We can select the catchment we want to see. Here we can see the 30th, 50th and 90th percentile for this specific catchment. Then we can make sure that this graph is shown on this dashboard every time we load it. So we go to save chart as, we say new chart, and then we say, and we press save and add to dashboard. Map is added to the dashboard to ensure that the dashboard datetime is used. We now see the most current situation for this specific catchment as well. So here you have it, this monitoring dashboard, which will allow you to monitor the forecasted precipitation for the coming 10 days.